What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we lost Quincy, as you can see here, but that is okay. As much as it hurt to lose a Pokemon, especially considering we hadn't lost one in a while, and our shiny, no less, one of our two shinies, the one that we got in place of the shiny Gyarados, the one we got for that static encounter, so it doesn't hurt as much as if we lost, like, the full odds shiny Arcanine. Obviously that would have hurt a lot more, but it still hurts. However, the combination of us not having had it on the team for a long time, meaning I didn't get much attached to it, and the fact that we are going to be getting our legendary today, hopefully, softens the blow a little bit. So, let's get over to that, because in the last episode, yes, we lost our shiny Weepinbell, Quincy, but we did gain a Master Ball from the professor in that Pokemon lab right there. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our Pokemon. We're going to hit Fly on Nina over here. I am going to actually adjust the volume on my... Should I adjust the volume on my headphones? It's kind of loud. Hold on. Let me just... Whoop. Okay. Adjust the volume on my headphones, and then... a pop-up box is gonna interrupt me. That's great. Thank you, computer. And then we're going to go to, I believe, Ecruteak? Or is it... I don't know my towns in this game. Where's the tower where we get the legendary? There's a tower in Violet City, but that's Sprout Tower. I don't think it's Sprout Tower. I think that's the wrong tower. It's not Tin Tower, is it? Tin Tower's the one in Goldenrod. There are too many towers in this region. It's so confusing. Anyway, I think it's this one. Which tower is this? We got, Sprout Tower, Tin Tower, is this Burn Tower? That sounds right for Ho-Oh. Yeah, Burn Tower. It is a Fire-type legendary, after all. Destroyed by a mysterious fire. I wonder who could have caused that. Please stay away, as it is unsafe. Actually, I say that as if Ho-Oh caused it, because he's a Fire-type legendary, but I don't think that's actually the case. I think actually it was caused by something else, because in the anime, and I don't know how much this part of the anime's lore aligns with this part of the game's lore, we already got an encounter here, I believe. I think this is where we got Judy. That was a while ago. It's been a while since we've last been in this tower, but now I think we can actually do something in here, rather than just walk in, get an encounter, and walk out. I am now noticing I did not heal my Pokemon or dispense Quincy into the box. So I need to go to a Pokemon Center and do that before I go up this tower anymore, because first of all, Shucky needs some healing. Second, it's annoying to just constantly open up my Pokemon menu and be reminded of the fact that Quincy died. I'd rather get the body out of my Pokemon menu. Even if I don't have anything to replace it with right now, I'd rather have 5 Pokemon on the team than have to look at a dead body every time I open up my Pokemon menu. That sounds unfortunate. Does not sound like a very fun experience. So we're gonna take down that Machamp, easy, with our Stab, super effective Psychic type move, coming from a Pokemon that's way above its level. Not even a contest. That Machamp was, like, dead 4 times over. Or something like that. I didn't do the exact math, but I could. While editing this episode, I could. I remember, previously I talked about, how I did the math for, in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, when Hellkaiser Ryo freaking kills that guy in his first, underground duel. I did the math for that. I could do the math for that as well. It would be less interesting and harder to do, because I'd have to pull up, like, a damage calculator or something. It's not as easy as calculating it in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Calculating the power of moves in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where it's just, like, the card does this amount of damage. In Pokemon, it's like, okay, what's the stat spread of this Pokemon? What's its base stat total? What's its base stat in this? What's its, nature? With Pokemon, there's so many factors, it's harder to calculate those things, so therefore I don't do a lot of, damage calculations in Pokemon. I just kind of say, like, okay, that did 21 damage. I know it could high roll or crit or something, but I'm gonna assume, I know it could high roll and there's natures involved and all that other stuff, and my defense and whatever, but I'm just gonna say it did 21 damage, a crit will do 42, so watch out for that. That's all I need to do. That's all I do in Pokemon. No other damage calcing besides that. Like, what's a low roll, what's a high roll. I don't care about that. I never factor that into calculations. I just say, it did 21 damage, a crit would do 42. Keep that in mind. But anyway, yeah, let's deposit. Poor Quincy. You were not long for this world, Quincy. I'm sorry. Actually, you have an item. Let me, take that off of you, and then deposit you into your, cyber grave here. To your technological grave of a freaking computer. Take the, whatever this is, a Miracle Seed. I couldn't remember if it was a Poison Barb or a Miracle Seed, but I knew it was something that powered up one of their stabs. So yeah. That was quicker than I expected. That time that Quincy spent on our team just then was quicker than I expected. Because I already expected that we were just gonna replace them, quickly, because we were gonna replace them. I already expected they were gonna be off the team quickly, because we were just gonna replace them with the Legendary once we got it. But that is even less time than I expected them to be on the team. Unfortunate. It's also unfortunate in this game that you can't like actually see the boxes. It's not like multiple boxes that you can like name and stuff and like organize Pokemon into. So I just have to remember which Pokemon are alive and dead, because it's not like I can make like a dead box in future games. That's so much more convenient for Nuzlocks. Just being able to make a dead box, because I know I could just release the dead Pokemon, but I want to have them to look back at them later, in case I ever go back to this file one day, and I'm just like, huh, I wonder what Pokemon I had. So, here is our team now. Still forgot to heal him. Back to the Pokemon Center we go, because... Holy sidetrack, Batman. While we're going back to that Pokemon Center, more on the topic of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, because I know I said I was going to talk about it more, last time I talked about it, in the episode where we did the 8th gym. So out of all the battles in the Society of Light saga, and possibly in the series in total, in general, just in general, like, I think the Mizuchi fight was genuinely... Jaden Yuki's play in the, Mizuchi fight, I think is genuinely one of the best plays he's ever made. I think that is, like, one of the coolest, like, most big brain plays he's ever done, thus far in the series. Thus far in Society of Light, definitely. Maybe even thus far in the entire series. But, when he pulls out the freaking, like, Panther monster he has, I don't know what it's called, because I believe he's only used it thus far in that one battle, so I haven't really, gotten an idea of what it's called yet. I haven't committed that to memory as of yet, but, yeah, what he did with that thing, where he just, like, transformed it into, because it, like, that Panther one he has, that Panther, Neospacian that he has, basically becomes one of the opponent's monsters that is out, which sounds really OP and broken in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, in Pokemon, Ditto is not that broken, but I feel like in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where all these monsters have all these, like, broken abilities, like, in Pokemon it doesn't really matter, like... In Pokemon it doesn't really matter because there's, like, stats involved, you know? It's like, I could transform into the other person's Pokemon, right? With a Ditto. But that's not OP or anything, because I still have my same health that I would as a Ditto, you know? Like, it doesn't copy the stats, too. It copies most of the stats, but it doesn't copy that one stat. Like, it's not a perfect replica. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, first of all, abilities mean much more, so copying someone else's ability is, like, crazy, as evidenced by the fact that, like, you know, he copied Dark Creator. He had, like, he bought out like, the Panther Neospacian, and copied Dark Creator, and then it just created, like, all of those Dark Creator pawns. And then suddenly, because he copied one monster, he has, like, 10 new monsters out on the field or something. So yeah, just abilities that cards have. Being able to copy another card's ability is crazy. Like, it's not even the fact that he copied her card. What was crazy about that play is that he copied her ability. He put a Dark Creator on his side of the field. But he put a Dark Creator on his side of the field by making the Panther into a Dark Creator, and then he used that Dark Creator's ability to make tons and tons of Dark Creator tokens. It's not the fact that he copied Dark Creator itself, but the fact that he copied Dark Creator and its ability that made that play so broken. And it's like that a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh! There are a lot of monsters that just like wholly depend on their ability, wherein as in Pokemon, it's like more of a plus thing. It's more of a thing that's just like an add-on, right? Like the monster doesn't need it. In Pokemon, like the Pokemon doesn't need its ability. It's just sort of like an added extra bonus thing. At least in most cases. Obviously there are Pokemon that are built around their ability, but it's not as common for a Pokemon to be built around its ability, like its passive thing that it does, as in Pokemon, as it is in Yu-Gi-Oh! I find. So who are we giving strength to? Let's go with... How do we not have strength on... Wait, do we have strength on Juan? Surely someone must have strength. Wait. Strength is... Don't we already... Did it say we already know strength? Juan knows strength. Okay, wait. Do I not need strength? Do I need Rock Smash? I thought this was strength, but then again, that does look like a very different rock from... A different rock sprite, right? Like, very much so, from the rock sprite that they use for strength rocks, so I guess this isn't a strength rock. This is a Rock Smash rock. Alex, good morning. It's me, Donna. How are you doing? Want a battle? It's not going to be a repeat of the last time we met. I'll be around Route 36. See you later! So I guess I gotta teach Pokemon Rock Smash, not Strength. Do I have Rock Smash? I hope I have Rock Smash. It'd be really inconvenient right now if I did not have Rock Smash. Oh, go figure, I don't have Rock Smash. Okay, how do I get Rock Smash? Gosh darn it, man. Hold on. So anyway, while I'm looking this up, how to get Rock Smash in Pokemon Gold. Squirtbottle and Sudowoodo. Talk to the man standing to the east of its original spot. Oh, is it a TM? Oh, it's a TM, not an HM? Oh. Huh. Odd. So do we have the TM? Or did it randomize into something else? Okay. Did we just not talk to that guy? Or... Hold on. I got some stuff to do, apparently, before we can go up this tower. It's never easy, is it? But yeah. Obviously, in Pokemon, that's just like a thing that multiple Pokemon do. It's not just Ditto. It's like Mew as well. And it's not even seen as that broken. Like, how often in competitive Pokemon do you see, like, a Ditto? Right? It's not a broken thing to copy your opponent. In Pokemon, it's better to just, like, come up with your own strategy, use your own Pokemon, you know? Meanwhile, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, obviously, to an extent, it is much better to use your own dual monsters, because that's what you built your deck around. You can't build your deck to take advantage of a monster if that monster is just whatever monster the opponent sends out, right? I mean, I guess you could. There's probably a way you can. But, I think, obviously, there are times, I'd say more often than not, where it's better to have your own monster, rather than just one that copies another monster, because your monster, you probably know how to use better than whatever you're copying from the opponent. And you probably know how to strategize with that, you have a strategy with that, you have a way to bring out the power in that. Meanwhile, if you just copy your opponent's monster, you may have, like, a sudden strategy that you came up with, like you saw their monster and you're like, I could do something with that, but, generally, you're more, like, you're better... You have things better planned out if you're using your own monster, right? Because you've used that a bunch, you've had time to see how that monster works with the rest of your deck, the rest of your team. So, like, obviously it is more, obviously being able to copy your opponent's, what your opponent's sending out, being able to copy your opponent's card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is way more broken, in my opinion, than being able to copy your opponent's Pokemon in Pokemon. But, also at the same time, it's still, I feel, better in most circumstances, to have your own, to be using your own monster than like copying someone else's. Obviously, there are more times where that is strategically great, strategically a good option than in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than that is in Pokemon to like copy what your opponent is using. But it is still better, probably in most cases, to use just what you have instead of copying what your opponent has. However, the fact still remains, I feel like that is a much more broken ability, copying what your opponent has in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than that is in, like, Pokemon. I feel like it's much less situational in Yu-Gi-Oh! It still is situational, it still is most of the time better to just use your own monster, but it is much less situational than in Pokemon, I feel. In Pokemon, it's kind of just like a gimmick that, like, barely ever comes in handy. Like, how often do you see Ditto on competitive teams, you know? Like, how often do you see Ditto on a playthrough team? You never see anyone use Ditto because it's more of a gimmick than something that's actually good. Meanwhile, I feel like his Panther monster is less of a gimmick, and, like, yes, it does have, like, very specific usage, but it's less, but at least it has usage, you know? Like, Ditto is bad, either way you slice it, you know? Like, no one ever uses Ditto for anything practical. But, like, you could definitely, Judai could definitely use that Panther thing with its mimicking ability in many practical ways. It's still gimmicky, it's still, like, specific in its use, but it, at least, unlike Ditto, in Pokemon, it has a use, you know? It's copying that is much more useful than Ditto in Pokemon, just because, not because it's, like, better than Ditto in Pokemon, really, it's just, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, copying what your opponent sends in is way more helpful, usually, I'd say 95% of the time at least, than it would be in Pokemon, to copy what your opponent sends out. Anyway, did you clear that wretched tree? I'm impressed. I want you to have this. Okay, TM08. Hopefully that is Rock Smashers and get randomized into something else. That would be very annoying. That happens to be Encore. If any rocks are in your way, find Rock Smash. Okay. So, he was supposed to give me Rock Smash, and he did not. He gave me Encore. Unless it just said it randomized into Encore, but it was not Encore, it was actually Rock Smash? Oh no, it's Encore. Okay. So what was the other thing we could do to get Rock Smash? You can buy more later at the Goldenrod department store. Okay. So let's go to the Goldenrod department store, I guess, then. Because at least what you buy at a store can't be randomized. It can't it? It won't be, though, right? It's not gonna be randomized. There's no way you just can't get Rock Smash in a randomizer of Pokemon Gold. There's no way that's a thing. Or maybe I just had, like, a randomization setting wrong? Imagine if I said, like, oh, we're gonna get a legendary Pokemon, and I was building it up like that, and we're just not gonna be able to, because we can't get Rock Smash. Goldenrod City, okay. This is our last hope. If we can't get Goldenrod from this store, then I guess we just can't get a legendary from that tower. Goldenrod City Station? That is not what we're looking for. We're looking for a department store. Where is the department store? I recognize the station as a big building, but apparently it was not big enough to be considered a department store. This looks like a much bigger building, and it says Mart on the front, so yeah, this is probably the department store. So where is the TM floor? Is this the TM floor? I guess probably not. Your travel companion to the Trainer's Market. Okay. I don't think it's in Trainer's Market, even though Trainer's Market abbreviated is TM. We're looking for Technical Machine, not Trainer's Market. We're looking for a different type of TM acronym. For Victory Seekers. Battle Collection. Okay, this might be TMs, or it might be other battle items, or it might be both. Let's see. This is battle items. Okay. We're not looking for these. Those are really cool and strong and stuff, but they're too strong to the point where usually I don't use those in the Nuzlocke because it makes things too easy. I feel like a lot of people don't really use those in the Nuzlocke because it makes, for that reason. Where are the TMs at? I see no TMs. I would have thought that the TMs would be on a floor below those, like, Carbos and Zinc and all that other stuff, because I feel like generally more people use TMs than that stuff. Customize your Pokemon. TM corner. Okay, it is in fact above that floor. That's weird that they make you go up farther to get TMs than they do for Zinc and Carbos and all that other stuff. A ground type attack, 1-hit KO attack. Okay, that's Fissure. Okay, do I want to buy Fissure? I mean, why not, right? But makes the foe repeat. Okay, yeah, it just randomized into Encore. Yeah, we can't get Rock Smash. Foe repeat 2 to 6 times. User and foe feint in 3 turns. And attack that may make foe flinch. Ground type attack. Okay, so I don't know what this move is. I don't know. Both user and foe feint in 3 turns. Oh, Perish Song. Okay. I'll take Fissure, and I'll take Perish Song. I don't know how often I'd use those. I don't know if I'm ever teaching those to anyone. But it's really funny to have the option to, you know? I think Perish Song realistically comes in handy more often than Fissure. But I mean, Fissure's not a good move, but it's a really funny move, you know? Like, if I hit Fissure on someone... Imagine I hit Fissure on the champion's last Pokemon, that would be really funny. I might teach it to someone, like, right before the Pokemon League, just for the chance that that might happen, because that sounds like a really badass way to finish it. Really badass and comical way to finish it. So, yeah, I guess we just can't get Ho-Oh then, huh? Again, I'll check my bag again for Rock Smash, but I just don't think we have it, and I just don't think we can get it either. Yeah, that sucks. Why would they make something that you use outside of battle not an HM? I never understood that. But they did, so here we are, unable to get a Legendary, which is unfortunate, because that means I just have to sort of move on, I guess, to the Pokemon League without... Well, I guess I either have to go challenge the Pokemon League with only 5 Pokemon, or train up somebody from my PC. And obviously, the correct option is to, the correct option from a I want to beat this Nuzlocke perspective is to simply, the correct option from a I want to beat this Nuzlocke perspective is to simply train up a different Pokemon. But I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to do that. So we might end up challenging the Pokemon League with only 5 Pokemon, we'll see. But whatever we're doing, whatever we're doing, we gotta go. We're gonna go to the Victory Road now, I guess, because I can't think of anything else we should be doing before we do that, besides getting the Legendary, and obviously that's no longer an option to us. I mean, I guess it never was, but now we know that it's an option, that it's not an option. So off we go to Victory Road, I guess. So I think it's this way, because I see that the map seems to go off in that direction. Like, I see a town sticking out of like the very right side of the map. Like, so I'd imagine that tells me that Kanto's over there. Like, we can see one town just barely sticking out of the right side. So I think Kanto is to our right, and the Pokemon League is like right on the edge of Johto and Kanto, so I believe we have to go this way. I believe we have to go farther right on the map, and this is the farthest right. I believe this is the only way to go farther right than we currently are on the map. So yeah, I think we have to go this way. But yeah, in the Mizuchi fight, Jaden's play where he had the Panther guy, that I again don't know the name of because he only used him once. I know the names of, like, Actually, I don't know if I know the names of the other Neospatians. I know Glomoss. That one is really funny, that he just, like, pulls it out, and then it's up to random chance between three random effects. It's just like, what's gonna happen? He just, like, rolls a wheel of, like, 3 glowing orbs, and it's like, whatever it lands on, deal with it. I think that's funny, to just have the random chance monster. And unlike in the case of Sayo, where it's like, oh, it's gonna spin, and then whichever one it lands on, card face up or card right side up or card upside down, whichever one it lands on, it's gonna have that effect. Like, this is literally random. It's not like, oh, fate is on his side, so it's gonna do what he wants. This is like, Jaden just said, I'm gonna do a random thing, and then he did a random thing. And it's really cool and epic, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it works because plot armor, but it's not like Sayo, where it just, like, works because he's Sayo, and because fate is on, and because Destiny is on his side, and fate is on his side, right? Like, it feels cooler, even though it is probably always gonna work, or, like, it is probably almost always gonna work, just like Sayo's did, just like Sayo's, like, random chance, quote-unquote random chance, always sort of worked for him, except for, like, very few times. It is probably gonna be the same for Jaden. Like, Glomoss is only gonna do the wrong thing for him very seldom, but even still, it feels cooler than Sayo because it feels like it's random chance, you know? It feels like Jaden's just rolling the dice, heart of the cards, you know? He's just putting it out there, and it's just like, what happens next? Will this be a good move? Will this be a bad move? We'll see. When in reality, yeah, it's plot armor determining if it's going to be a good move or a bad move. It's plot armor determining whether Glomoss brings him the victory or not. But it feels random, and that's cool. It feels more random than Sayo. It feels more random than Sayo's Arcana deck, which is cool. Even though it's equally lame because it's not really random chance, it's whatever the plot needs it to be. It feels cooler, at least. So, yeah, I like Glomoss a lot, actually. Hey! Do you know what you just did? You've taken your first step into Kanto. Check your Pokegear map and see. So there we are. We are now in Kanto, and I think then this should be Victory Road, right? Tojo Falls. The link between Kanto and Johto. Okay, not Victory Road, but I think Tojo Falls leads to Victory Road. We can't seem to get over to that house over there, so I'm guessing we can only get there from, like, the Kanto side of the map. But, yeah, here we go, Tojo Falls. This is a new area. We could theoretically get an encounter that we could use in here. Hopefully it's a decent level. Because the thing is, I have a lot of encounters in the PC, of course, but none of them are, like, very high level, just because levels are weird in this game, and everything I run into, even at the very end of the game, is low level, including this Flareon that is level 22 in the route before Victory Road. Come on, seriously? For goodness sake. I don't know if Nightshade uses their level, or my level, but regardless, this thing probably still has more than 41 health, even if it uses mine. Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, we can't go for another one. So let's just throw balls now, I guess. I wonder what we're going to use this Master Ball for then, I guess. I wonder what we're going to use this Master Ball for then. I mean, Level Ball, obviously it is much lower level than us, but I feel like we don't need to use the Level Ball. I feel like we could save the Level Ball for a harder to catch, much lower level Pokemon than us. So, yeah, we'll just use Great Balls, I think. I think Great Balls should suffice. It's not a starter. Not in a starter evolutionary line. It's catch rate. I'm sure Flareon has a pretty low catch rate compared to other Pokemon, because I feel like evolutions would be hard to catch. Obviously operating off of that same, like, starter principle, like, they're desirable. But I know they're not nearly as bad as a starter. If it's not a starter and it's not a legendary, I feel confident in our ability to catch it if it's below level 30 with a Great Ball. It stores some of the air it inhales in its internal flame pouch, which heats it to over 3,000 degrees. Yikeronis, that is hot. Okay, so what are we going to name this Flareon? I find it weird how they all, like, shake their heads like they're saying no to you. I feel like I'm being targeted. I feel like that is meant for me. It's just saying no to me. I feel insulted, frankly. It's like, nope, I don't want to be yours. I don't want a name. Just name me Flareon. Just release me back into the wild. I don't like you. No, 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 no. He's just, I'm kind of offended. I'm kind of hurt by the fact that he just, like, continuously shakes his head at me. And I don't think that's what it's meant to be. I don't think it's meant to be the Pokemon shaking its head. I think it's just supposed to be, like, funny little, silly little, cute little idle animation, right? But, like, it looks very much so like the Pokemon is shaking its head, and that makes me feel not good. It makes me feel not happy. Dare I even say, kind of mad. Hurt a little bit. That this Pokemon seemingly does not want to be my friend because I catch them and then they won't stop shaking their head at me. They just look so disappointed. What are we gonna name this Pokemon, though? I know I had some names that are, like, Ron. Are there people named Ron? There are people named Ron, right? There was another one that's, like, really basic that I wanted to do. Well, I can't think of that one right now. So let's... Jean? What about Jean? How do you spell Jean? In the traditional sense, I mean. Obviously, there are probably multiple ways to spell Jean, just like there are multiple ways to spell most names. But how do you spell Jean? Okay, that's Jeans. I was looking for Jean as in, like, the name. Jean-Paul Gaultier? Gaultier? Probably Gaultier. It says French fashion designer, so I'm gonna go with a as French-sounding a pronunciation as I can. Jean Harlow was a girl. Jean Claude... Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Is that... Oh, it's probably a French pronunciation of Jean, then. That's probably not Jean. That's probably, like, Jean. Right? Jean-Paul Gaultier? Gaultier? Jean-Paul Gaultier? That sounds right. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme? Me trying to pronounce French names be like, okay, so that's not Jean, that's Jean. But how do you spell Jean? Or is that completely different? Or is it spelled the same way? Jean and John. Is it like Jean? Like, oh! Okay, Jean. Yeah, Gene Simmons. That is... okay. Yeah, that is spelled G-E-N-E. Also, Gene Hackman. Spelled G-E-N-E. I was going off of... Am I imagining things, or... Hold on. Am I imagining... No, I'm not imagining things. In the Emoji Movie... No, I am imagining things. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say in the Emoji Movie, it's spelled J-E-A-N, but I'm still wrong. No matter which way you slice it, I'm wrong. Jean, that's just not how you spell Jean. That's how you spell, like, Jean, or something. Jean. Is it a common name? I saw two people named Jean. Name. Jean. Short for Eugene or Genevieve? I guess I could do Eugene. I haven't done Eugene yet, right? Well, so Gene Hackman, Gene Simmons, Gene Wilder. Okay, that's 3 Genes. I'm gonna say it's a common enough name to the point where I'll use it. Yeah, let's go Gene. Not spelled the way I thought it was, but apparently that's how you spell a different name. So, I'm wrong, but at least I was still spelling a name, you know? Yeah, I thought it was J-E-A-N, not G-E-N-E, but, like, at least I'm still spelling a name. It's just not the name I was thinking of. Okay. So that's Gene joining the party. We can't really use him. Maybe we could. I mean, things here clearly aren't that high level. Maybe we could train him up, like, start training him up right now. And we could use this thing. Bring this thing into Pokemon League. Obviously we need some more training between Victory Road and going into the Pokemon League. But we could certainly start that training now. Like, we're not gonna get the training done. It's not gonna be up to everyone else's level. Do we have a experience share, by any chance? Anywhere? We should. It definitely should be in here somewhere. But is it? It does not seem to be, so I'm kind of wondering what the heck happened to it, because that's a wacky thing to just lose, and an unfortunate thing to just lose, honestly. Yeah, I can't seem to find it. It's not in here, is it? Yeah. You can't equip key items. You can't make Pokemon hold those, so... I was just checking. Just making sure. Yeah, so then I don't know... I obviously can't get this thing in XP share. Unless someone here has it, but I don't think they have. I don't think they do. Magnet. Twisted Spoon. Oh, this goes so slow. Polka Dot Bow. Quick Claw. Bright Powder. Yeah, no one seems to have it here. There's not a Pokemon Center, like, nearby out here, is there? That place might work as a Pokemon Center. There might be, like, a place to heal in there, like some granny or something might heal you in there, but, I don't think there's a PC in there, even if there is a person who heals you in there, so... Also, I don't know how to get there. I mean, you could probably go around. Like, I see water down there. There's water, like, down there, and I can see that it does seem to, like, stretch on and keep going that way. And I see, obviously, that there's water, like, right in front of me, too, on, like, the other side of that land down there. So it probably does wrap around. You probably could go around that way, but I don't think it's worth the trouble. It might also be, like, much longer, obviously, I'm assuming that, like, you follow this thing, you follow that water down, and, like, the second it goes off screen, it, like, loops around. But this, like, this floor here, this ground, could go on, theoretically, for, like, a much longer time, so it's not easy, so maybe it's not easy to wrap around. Maybe you have to go, like, through, like, two whole routes or something to wrap around, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could try it. Like, what's the harm? Wasting a little bit of time? I waste a lot of time in this series, so, like, what's a little bit more, you know? Yeah, see, you don't know how easy it actually is to wrap around, or how difficult it is, because I was assuming that, like, obviously I could only see to, like, there, right? So I was assuming that, like, past those trees, it would just open up, and it would wrap around there. But, clearly it did not wrap around there. This river did not connect to that pond over there just yet. I should probably heal, right? I was gonna, like, see if I was gonna see if I could heal in that house over there. I was gonna see if I could, like, see if this wrapped around and go in there and heal before I healed Jean up with a potion. But, we seem to have encountered something before we got to that house to see if there was any healing. So, I'm just gonna heal them up with a potion now. Ember, that's great. Sometimes you get evolutions and they just don't have, any stab yet. I mean, I feel like it happens very rarely. I feel like in most games, like, once you evolve them, they learn something that is stab. But I feel like there are occasions where that's not the case. I know in Legends Arceus, obviously, you have to teach a Pokemon moves. Yeah, you see, like, I expected... Oh my gosh. But yeah, those trees above me, like, that land above me, I expected it would just, like, cut off entirely, and then, there would be nothing blocking me from taking this river into that pond. But, and so I would just be able to, it would just, like, wrap around, and I'd just be able to get in there from, like, I'd just be able to get in there, into that pond from this river as soon as we were, like, as soon as we were, like, past the edge of the screen, where the edge of the screen was, right? I thought past the edge of the screen, that lane was just gonna end, and then we would be able to, wrap around. But we don't seem to be able to wrap around just yet, and this river keeps going on down, to the right here, so we might be able to wrap around still via this water line, but we definitely cannot do it right now. We either are going to go further down this water line and it's going to wrap around, or it's never going to wrap around, but either way, we do not seem to be able to wrap around right now, so. Yeah, let me kill the Steelix, and then check further down this river and see if it does in fact wrap around. My guess is no. My guess is you can't access Kanto in any way, until you beat the Pokemon League. Or, well, I guess we're in Kanto right now, but you can't access, like, the rest of Kanto, besides, like, this one spot where Tojo Falls is, until after the Pokemon League. And alright, yeah, it did not end up wrapping around. Okay, yeah. I thought that was a safe bet. But part of me had hoped that it would, and so we'd be able to get, like, free healing in that house over there. First of all, didn't know that it was going to wrap around. Second, didn't know whether there was free healing in that house or not. But part of me had hope that both of those would be true. Sadly, we know for a fact now that one of those wasn't true. It does not, in fact, wrap around. And we do not know yet, but it still could be false, that there is, my assumption, we do not know yet, but it still could be false, my assumption that there is free healing in that house. So one of those things we know to be false now. The other one still could be, but we don't know yet, but it still could be. So we got another brick piece. That is the second one we've gotten now. Still don't know what I was supposed to do with the first one, or if I could even use the first one yet. Maybe it's for getting some legendary in, like, the post-game or whatever in Kanto or something. Maybe it has to do with some plot line of, like, a destroyed, a ruined building, like the ruins of a castle or something, where some legendary Pokemon lived. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with Celebi. It could be any number of things that I don't know about because it's, like, exclusive to this game. Because I certainly haven't heard of a brick piece item in any other Pokemon game, so I'd imagine it is having to do with, like, the plot of this game, or this game specifically, or something. The plot of this game, or a gimmick specific to this game, like a plot of this game, or a mechanic specific to this game. There aren't a lot of mechanics specific to this game, so I'm just gonna say that it's probably has to do with the plot of this game specifically, but I don't know. It's one of those items where, like, the item description doesn't really help you at all. Like, some items, obviously it says, like, a collector might be, a certain collector might be a fan of this, might buy it from you for a high price, and obviously, like, that's not that helpful, because it's telling you, like, someone wants to buy it. We're not going to tell you who it is, but someone wants to buy it, right? Like, that's not particularly helpful, but at least that's more helpful than this brick piece explanation, which literally gives me nothing. Like, maybe I'm supposed to sell it? I don't know. It says nothing about selling it. It says nothing about using it on a Pokemon. It says nothing about using it in an area, in a certain area for a certain thing. It just gives me nothing. It just says, like, a brick from a building or something. I don't know. I don't remember quite what it said, but I know it was absolutely useless in finding out what exactly it does. We're going to keep on tackling, because Ember is not very effective. So maybe Tackle's the better move. Maybe it's not. However, I'm pretty confident saying that Tackle's probably the better move, because I think Flareon's a physical attacker anyway, right? What are our stats here? Yeah, definitely a physical attacker. And Fire is special, so not only is our Ember not very effective here, but also we're a physical attacker, so I think we do want to go for the Tackle here. Growl is lowering our attack, though. That's annoying, so it's going to make our Tackle do less and less damage, and he's smoke-screened us, so we're going to be hitting less and less tackles. Honestly, just a very annoying Charmeleon we're fighting here. Because now, not only is it hard for us to hit our tackles, but even if we do hit our tackles, it's going to do less damage. And we already couldn't do much damage with our Embers because they're not very effective, so... And our special attack is much lower than our physical attack, so yeah. In general, just a very annoying Charmeleon that countered us pretty well, but we got through. Somehow we got through. It's not even one of those cases where it's like, oh yeah, it's not even one of those cases where it's like, oh yeah, we're much higher levels, so we get through anyway, even though this is not a good matchup for us. This was not a good matchup for us, and we were the same level as it, and yet somehow we still got through. I mean, I guess because Gene's fully evolved and that Charmeleon wasn't. I guess it's as simple as that, but I didn't realize there was such a big divide in power when it with Charmeleon, like a mid-level starter, versus an evolution. I knew that evolutions were fully evolved Pokemon, obviously, but I didn't consider, like, what that actually means, like how good their stats actually are comparatively to not fully evolved Pokemon. Because you never know with, like, final evolutions in a 2-stage evolution line, like how that compares to middle evolutions in a 3-stage evolution line. Or even, like, how that compares to final evolutions in a 3-stage evolution line. Obviously, it could be much obviously, it could be much worse than final evolutions in a 3-stage evolution line, but sometimes it's actually, like, on par with final evolutions in a 3-stage evolution line. There are some final evolutions of 2-stage evolution lines that are, frankly, just as good as final evolutions of 3-stage evolution lines. Which is kind of crazy, because, obviously, getting a Pokemon to its final evolution in a 2-stage evolution line is easier, the vast majority of the time, than it is to get a Pokemon to its final evolution in a 3-stage evolution line. So it's kind of crazy that sometimes the powers align, the levels of power align there, with the 2-stage and the final with the final evolution of the 2-stage and the final evolution of the 3-stage being pretty much equal in power, when it is usually much more difficult, where it is usually much more difficult to... Sorry, it is kind of crazy to see, like, the power levels align with, like, 2-stage final evolutions versus 3-stage final evolutions, when it is usually much more work to get a 3-stage evolution line than it is a 2-stage evolution line, final evolution. But yeah, sometimes it does turn out that way, so that's cool when that happens. It's a fully evolved Pokemon that is just as strong as your average fully evolved Pokemon. It's a 2-stage fully evolved Pokemon. It's a fully evolved Pokemon of a 2-stage evolution line that is, frankly, just as strong as a Pokemon of as a final evolved Pokemon of a 3-stage evolution line, even though final evolution of a 3-stage evolution line is typically harder to get. It's just less work for pretty much equal payoff, so that's always nice. That's always cool, helpful. But yeah, I guess now we would just progress through this cave here, because I couldn't find any healing out there. We did end up healing up Jean with that potion anyway, so I guess only Shucky and Judy are not full health now, but they haven't really taken all that much damage anyway. They're both still in the green. Shucky has taken significantly more damage than Judy, but it's still not a lot, so I mean, I guess here we go, through Tojo Falls. And hopefully, by the end of this episode, we come out on the other side, and we're ready to do Victory Road next episode. And unlike in most Pokemon games, where I feel it is unlikely that we get through Victory Road in one episode, in this game, I think it is actually pretty darn likely that we get through Victory Road in one episode, because Victory Road in this game is a cakewalk. I don't think there are any trainers in it at all. I think you just sort of walk in a straight line. Take a couple ladders up and down, but more or less just walk in a straight line. We also need to teach someone Waterfall, which I did not realize. I thought for sure I would have taught someone Waterfall by now, but I guess I haven't needed to use Waterfall outside of battle yet, so why would I have taught it by now? Okay, so Nina and Jean can both learn it. I mean, I guess since we're bringing Jean with us on this journey through Tojo Falls, or Tojo Falls, or however you pronounce it, I think it's Toho, right? Because Toho is... You think of, like, the video game... I think of, like, the video game franchise when I hear Toho, and that is spelled definitely differently than Tojo here, so I think this is Tojo and not Toho, judging by the fact that they are spelled quite differently. I think that's just the... Is that a Spanish thing? J's are silent? Hoven, yeah, right? Is that a J? Does Hoven start with a J, or am I tweaking? I think it starts with a J, yeah. What's another one? What's another one that I know starts with a J that's silent? Because I am... Rojo. Rojo definitely has a silent J in it. Okay, yeah. In Spanish, J's are definitely silent. So I guess that's just the Hispanic part of me being like, well, it's T-O-H-J-O. That's Toho. But, like, no, that's probably just Tojo. The J is probably pronounced in this situation. Yeah, I don't know if Spanish... Sorry. I know if Spanish does silent J's. I don't know if Japanese does silent J's. I don't think so, but then again, I'm not, like, a big Japanese guy. I don't know a lot about the Japanese language. So, what are we gonna switch? What are we gonna switch for, Waterfall here? I guess... Sand Attack is always great. It feels really strong when the opponent's using it, and then it feels like it sucks when you're using it. So I'd rather not have a move that feels like it sucks when I'm using it. And I'd rather have Waterfall, which is pretty powerful physical attack. No, wait, it's not physical. Oh my gosh! I was like, oh, I can teach Flareon a powerful physical attack because it's a physical attacker, and and Ember is special, so it needs a physical attack. Then I realized, oh wait, Ember is special because this is pre-Gen 4 and Fire is special, and therefore Water is also special. So this really is just pretty much equivalent in power to Ember, isn't it? Because, like, yeah, Waterfall is more powerful, but when you take Stab into account, I guess... I think Waterfall is still slightly more powerful, because Stab is 1.5 times, and so Ember is 40 damage, 40 base power, Waterfall is 80, so, Ember then, because of 1.5 times boost with the Stab, would be 60, and 80 is still more than 60, so Waterfall, I think, is still the better move. But not by all that much, actually, because of the Stab, and the fact that they are both special in this game, even though in other games, obviously, in future games, past Gen 4, Gen 4 and above, I mean, it would be, Waterfall would be physical. It's rare to see anyone come here. Are you training on your own? Okay, so yeah, now we are over to the place where we could not get to before. The place where that river did not wrap around to. So yeah, I guess I was kind of right. I said we couldn't get to it until, like, the post-game. Well, I said, first of all, I said we couldn't get to it until we were in Kanto, which is correct. However, I was in Kanto at that very moment, so I think that was a safe bet. I think that was a sort of obvious thing to say. Then I corrected myself and said, like, until post-game, which I'm not correct, but I was sort of half correct because I did originally say until we get to Kanto. However, that really doesn't mean anything. That's such a nothing statement because we're already in Kanto. So, really, I was correct only because I said something that really amounted to nothing. It's like me saying the sky is blue. Like, I'm correct. It's just like, of course I am correct. That doesn't mean anything, you know? Like, what does it mean that I said the sky is blue and I was correct? Like, of course I'm correct. Everyone knows that. It's really not a big deal that I'm correct in the situation. I just stated something obvious and then was impressed that I'm correct. Like, come on, man. Anyway, getting back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX talk, I think what Jaden did with the Panther guy, where he copied Dark Creator, and then it created all those, like, Dark Creator pawns, and then those Dark Creator pawns, since the attack of the original Dark Creator had been lowered, the Dark Creator his own Dark Creator pawns had enough power. Like, basically, Jaden lowered the power of the Dark Creator on the other side of the field, then transformed into that Dark Creator, so that its Dark Creator pawns, so that he would get Dark Creator pawns on his side of the field, and the Dark Creator pawns had more attack than the actual Dark Creator on her side of the field, because the Dark Creator on her side of the field had its attack lowered, but its pawns did not have their attack lowered. So when he copied the Dark Creator, her Dark Creator onto his side of the field with his Panther, it created Dark Creator tokens that had, like, the normal amount of Dark Creator attack power versus her Dark Creator on her side of the field, which had lower attack power. So then the Dark Creator tokens that he had gotten from copying her Dark Creator were able to take out her Dark Creator. So the Dark Creator was done in by its own tokens on the other side of the field because Jaden had copied the Dark Creator, and then created his own tokens, which were stronger than her Dark Creator because her Dark Creator's attack power had been lowered. It's just like, that's crazy. That's such a crazy combination of things that he did. He lowered his, in general, to put, like, not only did he even up the playing field, right? He could have just evened up the playing field, right? By just, like, copying her Dark Creator onto his side of the field, and then getting all those Dark Creator tokens. Like, all of a sudden, now, instead of her having, like, 14 monsters out on the field, and you having, like, 3, now it's back to, like, a steady amount of, like, her having 14 and you having 14, basically. It wasn't exactly 14, but, like, you know what I mean. Like, they both now have 10 monsters, rather than, like, that crazy unfair, matchup that it was before of her having all those Dark Creator tokens, and therefore having, like, 10 more monsters than they did. like, not only did he even up the playing field, which he could have just done, right? He could have just evened up the playing field, said like, okay, I transform my Panther guy into a Dark Creator, and now I have all these Dark Creator tokens on my side of the field. Now we have a pretty much equal amount of monsters compared to being massively overwhelmed with the large amount of Dark Creator tokens that you had, which could have been the case. Like, he could have just done that. But not only does he even up the playing field, but also he makes it, he just wins, you know? He doesn't just, like, even up the playing field by copying the Dark Creator and putting all those Dark Creator tokens on his side of the field as well, but he also uses those Dark Creator tokens in combination with the fact that he's lowered her Dark Creator's attack power to say, like, hey, now the Dark Creator tokens, which are supposed to be, like, equally as strong as the Dark Creator, but, like, smaller and, like, weaker, you know, his minions of sorts, right? The Dark Creator is supposed to be, like, the big, stronger thing, but because he's lowered the attack points of her Dark Creator, the Dark Creator tokens actually have enough attack power to kill the Dark Creator. His own tokens, his own, like, little minions actually have enough power to kill him. And now that they are on Jaden's side of the field, and now that he has Dark Creator tokens too, he can kill a Dark Creator with its own tokens. Obviously not, like, actually its own tokens, because they're a different Dark Creator token, Dark Creator's tokens. They're a different Dark Creator's tokens. That Dark Creator being the Dark Creator that the Panther transformed into. But, in a sense, yeah, he was done in by his own ability, because, Jaden transformed his, Panther guy into Dark Creator, copying that ability of Dark Creator to create all those Dark Creator tokens, and then use those Dark Creator tokens, combined with Dark Creator's lowered attack on the other side of the field, to kill that Dark Creator with the now superior, thanks to that attack lower, of Mizuchi's Dark Creator, attack points of the Dark Creator tokens. It's just the perfect storm of having her attack points lowered, and then copying her Dark Creator's ability, using that against it. It's just the perfect storm of her Dark Creator's attack points being lowered, and then him being able to copy the Dark Creator's ability, creating his own Dark Creator tokens, which enabled him to win there, you know? Because if her Dark Creator's attack points hadn't been lowered, like, yeah, that would be good and all, but it would just even things up. It wouldn't have been a win. The fact that her Dark Creator's attack points had been lowered, and then he bought in the Dark Creator tokens by copying her Dark Creator on his side of the field. The fact that he bought her, it was because her Dark Creator's attack points had been lowered, and then he was able to, it was the combination of her Dark Creator's attack points being lowered, and him copying her Dark Creator, bringing Dark Creator tokens on his side of the field, onto his side of the field. Yeah, it was the combination of her Dark Creator's attack points being lowered, and him copying her Dark Creator, bringing his own Dark Creator tokens onto his side of the field, that was able to do in her Dark Creator and let him win, and allow him to win. Like, what an awesome play by him, taking advantage of that lowered attack to use Dark Creator's ability against it, and create his own Dark Creator tokens on his side of the field to kill her Dark Creator. Oh my gosh. Such a good move. Such a good play. Oh, you're really strong. Like, you really have to think about it. You know it's a good play because you really have to think about it. You know, you're like, what series of events happened in order for him to be able to do this, right? Because a Dark Creator token shouldn't be able to take down a Dark Creator, you know? Like, it's creating thing. It's the big old... Like, Dark Creator is just, like, so much bigger and stronger looking than its, well, it's stronger looking because it's huge, right? It's so much bigger than its Dark Creator tokens. You'd think, like, oh, it looks so much stronger, and, like, obviously it is stronger, usually, but the fact that its attack points are lowered allows its own Dark Creator tokens to have enough attack power to kill it. So, like, you have to think about it. You know, you look at that and you're like, a Dark Creator token on Jaden's side of the field just killed the Dark Creator on Mizuchi's side of the field. How does that happen? How does a Dark Creator get killed by a measly Dark Creator token? And then you think about it and it's like, well, he lowered Dark Creator's attack, allowing for the he lowered Dark Creator's attack, allowing for the Dark Creator tokens to have more attack points than the actual Dark Creator that summoned them, then copied the Dark Creator on her side of the field, onto his side of the field with his Panther, and then used that Dark Creator's ability to summon his own Dark Creator tokens, which he then used to kill her Dark Creator, because now its attack points are lower than the attack points of the Dark Creator tokens that Dark Creator summons. I'm checking out pre- and post-evolution Pokemon. Evolution really does make Pokemon stronger, but evolved forms also learn moves later on. That is true, that is factual. Squirtle does get Hydro Pump earlier than Blastoise, I believe. Where are you off to with your Where are you off to with Pokemon? Where are you off to with Pokemon? 3 times the charm. Pokemon League? Not the Pokemon League, just Pokemon League. Are your Pokemon loyal enough for you to win? Let me see. If it doesn't come to trust, you come more. It could be tough going. What? Hold on. If it doesn't come to trust you more, it could be tough going. I think that's what she said. Trust is the tie that binds Pokemon and trainers. Well, I think that she only said we were lacking in trust because I had the Pokemon that I just got in front. So what if I put Juan in front? Juan probably trusts me way more because they've been on this entire journey with me. Then, will you say that I have, like, a lot of trust with my Pokemon? Where are you off to with Pokemon? Pokemon League? Are your Pokemon loyal enough for you to win? Let me see. Ah, your Pokemon trusts you very much. It's nice to see a good trainer. Here, a gift for your journey. Okay, TM37. I wonder what that could be. Even if I knew what it was in the, I don't know what that was in the initial game. I don't know what that is in base game. I don't know what that is in, like, the normal game, I mean. But even if I did, I still wouldn't know what she gave to me, right? I still wouldn't know. Hold on. Ah! I can't speak. Okay. I didn't know... First of all, excuse me. Second, I don't know what that is in the normal game. But even if I did, I wouldn't know what it is that she gave to me right now because it's randomized. So, Alex put the TM37 in the TM pocket. TM37 happens to be Extreme Speed. It's for advanced trainers only. Use it if you dare. Good luck. Okay. Is it actually Extreme Speed, or are we just lying to me? Are we just lying directly to my face? That could be the case. This old lady could just be lying directly to my face because she enjoys lying to children. That could be... That could be what's going on here. You never know. Let's see. Is it Extreme Speed? Because Extreme Speed would be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, it is Extreme Speed. Powerful first strike move. That could indeed be very helpful. I don't know on who. I mean, we don't have to teach it to anyone right now. We could teach it right before the Pokemon League. But is there anyone who, like, really sticks out to me as someone who could, like, really benefit from this? Nina could really benefit from this, obviously, because having a powerhouse like Nina have a slow powerhouse like Nina have a good physical attacking move that always goes first is great. That sounds awesome. However, unfortunately, we don't seem to be able to do that. Extreme Speed on Nina, because of that high attack but low speed, would be perfect, but it does not seem to be something that we can do. Anyone else who's slow but has high physical attack? I mean, is Judy slow? Is Judy a slow Pokemon? I don't actually know. We can't teach it to Nina. I already knew that. I accidentally pressed A. I didn't mean to there. It can't learn Extreme Speed. Okay, yeah. So, Poliwrath. How is your speed looking? Could you benefit from Extreme Speed? I feel like Gligar might be able to benefit from Extreme Speed, or maybe Speed is its only good stat. I don't know. I just assume that all its stats are bad, because it's not a very good Pokemon, but maybe it has a good speed stat, so we don't need Extreme Speed on that. Speed is 71. That is our lowest speed. That is our lowest, actually, that's very low, considering... I was gonna say that's our lowest stat, but I don't know if that means it's bad. It is lower than our special attack, and our special attack is, like... The special attack of a Poliwrath is supposed to be, like, nothing to write home about. Speed. For our speed to be lower than our special attack when we're a Poliwrath, that seems kinda crazy to me. I wouldn't expect its speed to be lower than its special attack, but I guess something had to be crazy low, and its special attack isn't actually that low comparatively to its attack. It's just most of its stats are pretty closely together. Actually, it's pretty much a mixed attacker that's just like bulky. Now that I look at it, I was gonna say like its attack is considerably more than its special attack, but that's not necessarily true. It's only a difference of 4. Meanwhile, its defense and special defense are like in the 90s, while its attack and special attack are only in the 80s. Well, I mean, 80 is still good attack, 80-something is still good attack, but, like, considering that its defenses are in the 90s, like, that's kind of underwhelming, actually. I didn't expect it to be such a bulky attacker. I thought it was going to be, like, mostly attack, maybe, like, I thought it was going to be, like, attack and defense built, you know? Not really, like, defense and special defense built, with attack and special attack being, like, the lower stats. That's interesting. I never thought of Poliwrath as being, like, more defensive than offensive. But I guess that is the case, or maybe we just have a really weird Poliwrath, I don't know. Nina obviously has lower speed. No, wait, they actually have higher speed than Poliwrath. Poliwrath is just really slow, I guess, or at least our Poliwrath is. Okay, Slowking, obviously, probably the slowest on our team. There's no way anything could be slower. Okay, well, Jean would be much faster, obviously, if they were higher level. Jean is our lowest in speed by far, but that's only because they're such a low level compared to everyone else. So yeah, Geraldine, in terms of, like, the Pokemon on our team that are a decent level right now, they are definitely the lowest in speed. It's in the name. They're Slowking. They have to be slow. That's expected. So 47 on Slowking, 89 on Nina, which is more than I was thinking, actually. 71 on Poliwrath, 101 on Shucky. Very fast. And, that's it. Where's Gligar? Where's Juan? Juan is after Jean. Okay, my bad. I just stopped at Jean, assuming that was our last Pokemon. Or maybe I didn't. I feel like I didn't. I feel like I didn't stop at Jean. I feel like I tried to go up and it just didn't work. I feel like I pressed the up button and nothing happened. Okay, 91, 37. That's to be expected because it's low level. 41, 47, 89, 71, 101. Okay. Yeah, so our slowest Pokemon that would actually be able to profit off of this, like actually be able to benefit off of this, our slowest Pokemon that can, like, use a physical attacking move effectively, I mean, is Poliwrath, it seems to be. Unless Slowking's physical attack is not as bad as I thought, but I feel like it's pretty darn bad. Yeah, pretty darn bad. So yeah, let's, I guess, teach Extreme Speed to Judy, assuming that we have space for it. I mean, yeah, I'd be down to get rid of Double Slap. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Yeah, let's get rid of Double Slap for Extreme Speed. I feel confident we're not going to lose Poliwrath between right now and the Elite Four. I'm going to knock on wood, obviously, because I don't feel that confident, but confident enough to the point where I said it out loud, you know? Like, I'm confident that we're not going to lose them between now and the Elite Four. Confident enough to teach them this TM, knowing that it won't be a waste. So let's teach it over Double Slap. There we go. No moves accidentally deleted that I do not want to be deleted. That's always good. Because I tend to do that when I'm learning a move, because I'm just spamming the A button, and I'm not paying it. And, well, it's not like I'm not paying it. It's not that I'm not paying attention, it's just that it always comes faster than I thought it would. You know, it always asks me, what move would you like to delete, faster than I thought it would, and then I'm still pressing A when it asks that. So, I guess I just overestimate how fast, I just overestimate how slow it is. I guess I just overestimate how slowly it asks me and expects an answer. I guess I just overestimate how slowly it asks me if what move I'd like to get rid of, and expects an answer. No. I guess I just overestimate how slowly it asks me what move I'd like to get rid of, and takes an answer. Yeah. So, anyway, we have a lot of good TMs here, actually, that we could use, but I feel like I could just sit here and teach Pokemon moves all day. Well, not all day, but that's an exaggeration, but, like, at least for, like, I'd say 5 minutes, at least. Just keep on teaching Pokemon moves here. I feel like we have enough moves. Not only enough TMs to do that, but enough moves that are useful in those TMs to probably do that, like, teach Pokemon moves for at least 5 minutes, like, sort of strategize with TMs. Because we have a lot of good TMs here, but, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do that when we're, like, actually at the Pokemon League. So yeah. For now, I'm going to end off the episode. I believe that's where we came from. Tojo Falls. I think that's the exit from Tojo Falls that we came from. Yeah. So, in the next episode, we are going to go this way. We came from that hole, came from that cave up here. So then we're going to go this way, and then, I guess, come into another cave, which will be Victory Road. And then that will be the last route we have to go down before we get to the Pokemon League. So thank you all so much for watching AB Claim. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you're looking forward to Victory Road in the next episode. I'll see you all next time. This is Alex Espion, signing off.